so hungry as I'm going up the stairs. My stomach's going like brr, 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 brr. Okay, so it is Wednesday the 12th of December. So first appointment back at the fertility clinic this morning, because I am day 3 of my cycle now. So yeah, I went back this morning. I have found the last couple of days really tough. Really tough. I think it's the most down I've ever felt in my entire life, and even Adam's been like, he doesn't know what to do. And like yesterday was a lot better. I had a better day yesterday, and I think it's because on Monday evening, Sunday all day I was pretty much really down. I had some things to distract me in terms of, we went and got like our Christmas tree, we were doing that, and then Monday I was just so down all day. Like, it was, work was just not like engaging me at all, and like I was finding it really hard to be motivated at work on Monday. And obviously when you work from home every day, you need some motivation. So I found that really hard, and like I finished work and I just felt shit really, because I was like, I feel like I haven't really done what I should have been doing today. Like, I'm still working, don't get me wrong, and I was just feeling really shit. And Adam had said earlier in the day, like, oh, do you want to go to the gym? And I was like, yeah, I haven't been for a while, I want to go. So we did go, and like he kind of said on the way back, he was like, you're not okay, are you? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. And I think in his head he was just like, he couldn't quite understand why this time was so different to the first time. And even I don't really get it. I don't really know what's made me feel so bad. But I couldn't sleep on Sunday night, and I actually wrote a letter just kind of explaining how I felt. And a lot of it was things like, I felt like I was letting him down, and I felt like it was, I think what I wrote in there is like, there's people that were born to be like footballers or artists or singers or dancers or accountants, or people that were like made to be a career person or something. And Adam was made, he was born to be a dad, he was born to have a family and be a family guy. And it absolutely kills me that I can't give him that at the moment, and that something is stopping me from being able to give him that. And I was like, that's one thing that I'm really struggling with, because I just feel like I'm continually disappointing him, and that I'm just failing as a wife for him right now. And I said, like, he has never made me feel like, he's never said or done anything to make me feel like that. This is all like in my head, it's nothing to do with anything he's done. And I even said to him, like, you've been brilliant, like, you're fine. It's just how I'm feeling. And like there were some other like things as well, like that I'd been finding really hard and that I hadn't really kind of expressed before, I think. And also just things like, I feel like we've kind of got to the end of this year and it's another milestone where it's like, oh, it hasn't happened, and it's like another Christmas where it hasn't happened, and that's really hard. So I've been really struggling the past couple of days. I was a bit better yesterday, and I think it's because I've like spoke, even though it's like not me like speaking to him, it's like he then kind of knew how I was feeling. So yesterday was like a better day, and bless him, he's been great, because all week he's been like, we're doing something every evening, we're not staying in, we're not like, he's like, we're just gonna keep busy this week and keep me busy so that I can kind of, it will kind of help distract me and help me deal with it and not wallow. And obviously where I do work from home every day, it's very easy to sit and wallow. So yeah, so yesterday was a better day, and I saw Amber and little Jake and just kind of said to her how I was feeling. And like, I think she's kind of now, not that she didn't realise before, but there was a couple of things that like I think I said that I maybe hadn't said before, and afterwards I got like a message from her about like saying things like, if you do want to meet up and you want to do it without Jake, like, because it's too much, let me know. And that's not really a conversation we'd had before, so it's nice in a way that she's kind of thinking about that now. She shouldn't have to, it's nothing to do with her, it's obviously just how I'm feeling. So it was really nice of her to actually kind of think about that now, which is good. not that she should have been thinking about it before, obviously, like she's just had a baby, like, and she's been the most understanding and like the most supportive friend ever. She's been great. But it was kind of nice to, because that's something that I had been struggling with a little bit, and like how do you kind of broach that with your best friend that they've just had a newborn baby, you're struggling to have a baby, and that can really kind of put a strain on a friendship, and I really didn't want to be that person. So it's nice that we've kind of reached that point where it's okay, so that's good. And I did actually, like, I had a bit of cuddle with him and I was fine and I felt okay. So I did feel better yesterday. I am down again today. I'm not great today, but I'm not as bad as I was on Monday. But yeah, I went back this morning. Oh, I did. Adam couldn't come because he had a meeting and that he had to go to. And like, she just had a little bit more of a chat with me, especially about NHS funding. She's like, obviously if we keep doing this, it's getting expensive. And so I've got to chase our NHS referral because apparently we definitely should have had something through by now. So I don't think our GP did it. I think they literally referred us through private and that was it. So I need to chase that to see if we can get that, because she was like, obviously if it keeps going, it doesn't work. We then move on to IVF, and that is not cheap, and we would be eligible for funding. So there's that. And we just talked about my treatment again, so we're just going to do the same again. She kind of talked to me about why, and I do understand why we're doing the same, why we're not just starting up on the high dose straight away. So I get it, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, and I did say to her, like, I was, you know, I wasn't great. But I mean, me and Adam are just going to keep an eye on how I am and how I'm feeling. And obviously if like I go back next Wednesday and I'm still not good, then he said like I need to kind of say something to them about that, because they do offer like counselling services and things like that, and he said it might be good to talk to somebody if I'm still struggling. So yes, it is what it is. I mean, you probably saw on Sunday I was a little bit of a mess. I was not in a great place, but and like I've stopped crying every 5 minutes now, so that's good. You should have seen with the Pampers midwife advert. Oh my god, that just like set me off again Sunday evening. I was not happy. Hi, so it is Wednesday the 19th of December, so we went back for our 1 week sort of check-up scanny thing this morning to see how the drugs were affecting, and kind of expected, I haven't really done anything. Same as the last 2 cycles, which we were expecting. I feel kind of fine about that today. Last time I was not feeling great about it, but I'm feeling okay. I think it's because me and Adam had a quite big chat last night. I still haven't been great since we kind of found out obviously cycle 2 hasn't worked, and I think I spoke about that before. Cycle 2 in general I feel was really hard. I don't know why, but it just was. But yeah, there's just been a lot of like things that have been getting me down, so I think in general like that was the whole catalyst. But I was saying to Adam last night as well, like I just don't like me at the moment. I was like, in a way it's kind of like I still feel like it's my fault, because it's obviously down to me and my PCOS that this isn't like happening and what have you, so I'm the reason we're having to go through this in the first place. So I don't really like me because of that. So obviously I think I've said kind of about my PCOS before on like my blog, like it does affect how you feel as a woman, because you do feel like you're not doing what you should be doing. Yeah, we just had a big chat last night, so I'm feeling pretty good today after that, which is good, because I was definitely going down like a bad road with that, I think, in terms of like emotionally. God, so yeah, so I think it's good that we had that like chat and that conversation, and I'm feeling better today, and like we heard what we were expecting to hear from the fertility clinic today, so that's no difference. But what she did say, I was meant to go back in on Friday for another scan, but she said, you know what, I'm going to cancel that one, just come in on Monday, so Christmas Eve, because she said nothing's going to change too much in 2 days, and then I'm just going back and forth. And actually it's quite nice, because if I'm going back and forth, it's just like continually thinking about it. It's like a constant reminder. So yes, I'm feeling a lot better today. I have been feeling really crap the past week. I've been spending a lot of time with like my nephew as well, and like my best friend's little baby, and I've said before, like while I'm there with them I'm fine. Like Noah is such a cute age right now, he's so sweet, and like Adam was like giving him lots of cuddles and stuff, which was lovely to see. But obviously like I think I've just overdosed a little bit on babies in the past week when I've been like feeling like this as well. It's like probably not the best idea. But like I'm honestly fine when I'm with them, and I didn't feel too bad like afterwards either. It's just I think the timing. But yeah, we will see how we go. Date you again on Monday. I have to go into Southampton because the Waterloo clinic, which is where we go, is closed over Christmas. So but the Southampton one is. To drive into Southampton, I don't think I've ever driven into Southampton before. Adam usually does it. I try and avoid it as much as possible, so I'm not looking forward to that. But it's gonna have to be done, and it's at 10:30 as well, so it's not so early, which is good because it means I don't have to worry about rush hour and stuff. So yeah, we will see. And then obviously we have Christmas, so we'll just go through that. I feel like I'm putting less pressure on myself for this cycle to work as well, because when we were talking last night, we were both saying we're kind of again not expecting this cycle to work, mainly because where it is Christmas, it's like bad food wise, like it's busy. Adam's going to be drinking probably more because it is Christmas, not as much as he would do each year, because he said he is going to try and cut down, and he's going to do dry January in January because it's obviously January. But yeah, so we just say kind of like, because everything else at the moment I'm not being able to exercise and stuff, we're not really expecting December's cycle to work. So we're kind of not really expecting much from this one, which I think is, I mean, it's obviously negative, but it's also quite a good attitude to have because it means we're not putting too much pressure on ourselves. So yes, we will see, but yeah, I'll check in with you guys again on Monday. Hello, it's been a little while. It is Wednesday the 2nd of January, and it's been over Christmas and everything, and I haven't really kind of updated on what's been happening or progress or anything. So we are currently on day, oh god, I don't even know what day of my cycle I'm on now. Day 24. So this is currently my longest cycle in terms of everything that's happening. And that's mainly because things weren't happening. So we got to, where did we go in? I can't remember the last time I updated you. So it's my coffee machine there. And so we're on cycle number 3, which started on the 10th of December. It's now the 2nd of January, so it's been almost a month really. And they did the same as before, so started me on 50, moved me up to 75 after a week, and after that they've kind of found that last Friday, so whatever date last Friday was, I don't even know. Nothing had happened basically. I think as soon as they put me up to 75, like first time they're like, oh yeah, something's happening, look, it got you, something's moved, you've got a couple of follicles, good news. And then when I went back in on the Friday and they checked, nothing had changed since the previous time, which obviously is not what we want, but nothing was going on. So they put me up to 100, which is the first time that's happened. The most I've been on up until that point has been 75. Sorry, it's like back to work today, so I wanted to film and do this update. Ooh, we shut the cat out. That's good of us. Hi, sorry. So we wanted to do like, yeah, I wanted to just do this update before I start work. It's now dark. But yes, so last Friday, which was I don't even know what Friday was. Was it the 28th? Friday the 28th. Nothing was happening. So, sorry, I've just turned the light off, you've gone dark again. So yeah, so they put me up to 100. And then obviously, well, they gave us the choice. This is not going well because it's so dark. Hey, you can see me again. And Fred's being very cute because I've literally not given him any fuss this morning. Sorry. So yeah, so they put me up to 100. Oh, I'm just gonna give him fuss because he looks really cute. So yes, they put me up to 100. There was the choice saying like we can either put you up to 100 or we can abandon the cycle, it's up to you. Look at him, so cute. And so we said, well, it was our choice because they were like, obviously you've been injecting yourself for a little while, so it's kind of your own preference. And yeah, I've been injecting myself for 3 weeks now non-stop, which it's obviously getting a bit repetitive but also expensive because we are doing it private because our interest referral still doesn't come through. I'm going back to the doctors next week to ask about that. But yeah, and when we got that news on Friday, I was not in a good place. We were like driving home and Adam was like, do you want to go anywhere on the way home? I was like, no. He's like, do you want to do anything else? No, I just want to go home. And I literally spent all of Friday morning curled up on the sofa watching crap on the TV. I just didn't want to do anything. I didn't really want to. Adam was like, are you going to talk to me? And I was like, I don't want to talk. I was just in such one of those kind of moods. And I napped from like 2 till 6. I just went to bed. I was just like, I just want a nap. But I was seeing a friend for dinner on Friday night who I haven't seen for ages, so I was like, I can't cancel. And also it'll be good for me to get out of the house and kind of get out of my funk. And I think I just needed a day of wallow and process and just being down. And I just said to Adam afterwards, I was like, I just feel like I'm failing. I was like, the one positive was that the treatment was working for us, so it was doing what it was supposed to do. Yes, it hasn't like resulted in like a pregnancy yet, but the treatment was still doing what it was supposed to do. Like that was our positive. And I was like, and now it's not doing that. So I just feel like I'm failing anyway because we're having to do this because of me. And then I'm failing even more now because it's not even working. So I just said I just feel like I'm failing continually. So yeah, it was a very emotional day on Friday and Saturday. Just generally very emotional right now. It is what it is. It's just, I'm just so tired of it all now. But yes, but we went up to 100 and then I went back on New Year's Eve and there's been movement, which is good. We'd gone from like a couple of 6s to, I had 112. So it doubled in size over the weekend, which is great news. So we carried on with 100 and I went back this morning and I had the one that was 12 is now 15 and we need to get to 17, so it's almost there. And I have another one, oi, do not scratch. And I have another one on the other side, which is now a 12 or 13. I can't remember what she said. So I have 2 which are good now. So that's good. So I'm back in on Friday just to check to get my trigger and then we are good to go. So yeah, I've just done my injection for this morning, so now 100, another 100 tomorrow, which is Thursday, and then back on Friday morning. And yeah, we should be good to go from then. So yeah, this cycle's been really hard. I've just felt so, the thing is I wasn't expecting it to work the first 2 cycles, so the first cycle I was, you know what, fine, move on, do the next one. Second cycle, I was really down. Really down, and I think it's because for some reason I'd put in my head a deadline of the end of this year, or the end of last year, so I think that's why I was so down. But because it was like Christmas and in my head I was like, this was meant to be our first Christmas with our first child, but instead it's like my brother's first Christmas with his first child and my best friend's first Christmas with her first child. So I was like, it's everybody else's first Christmas with their first child, but we don't have that, and that was hard, I think. And then obviously there was that blow on Friday and I found this cycle so much harder. Mentally it's just drained me, and I think Adam's been quite worried for a lot of it, bless him. But he's been amazing. He's been so good. He's been so supportive, and he's there when I need him. He's kind of knows now when I just need to like process. Like on Friday when I was just like, "You just getting ready to talk yet?" I was like, "No." I just wasn't saying anything, just walking off, and he wasn't pushing me, which was good. Like he was like, "You do need to talk." He was like, "But you're obviously processing." Like he knows me well enough to know when to push and when not to push. And Friday was just not a day to push me. I needed to kind of sort through my feelings and kind of go to him with it, which worked well in the end. But yes, so that is where we're at, cycle 3 on day like 20 something or other, 3 weeks in, over 3 weeks in actually. I think it was day 24, so yeah, 3 weeks of injecting myself, and yeah, we're almost there, and then I'm looking forward to not injecting myself every day for a couple of weeks. That'll be a nice break. Hello. So it is Friday the 4th of January and it is D-Day, kind of. It's, you know, the day to ovulate. It's trigger day, basically. Went back to the clinic this morning and yeah, all good to go. So did the trigger this morning and we will go from here. I'm kind of looking forward to having 2 weeks with like no injecting and not having to go like into the clinic every like couple of days. Like, they're lovely there, don't get me wrong, like they are amazing. It's just like a lot, and it's like a constant reminder when you're injecting yourself every day, when you're then going into the clinic like every other day. It is like a constant reminder. So yeah, it's not easy, but I've got a little blue under my eye there, which is great. But no, I'm just looking forward to having a couple of weeks where I'm just chilling, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, touch wood, fingers crossed, everything kind of goes as it's supposed to. They did say that if this doesn't necessarily work, then we may want to think about doing IVF as the next step, but it would have only been like our 3rd cycle, so I think me and Adam were saying we might want to do another one anyway, just in case. Just try maybe like one more time, and then we would kind of go on to IVF, and then it gives us a little bit more time to sort out our NHS funding as well, because we have to do that, and I'm going to my normal doctors next week to try and sort that out, because I don't think they were sent through the NHS referral, because they did all like the referral bits back in May, I think it was, and I think she only sent the private referral through. I don't think my doctor actually sent the NHS referral through, which is really annoying. And we have to have been seen by an NHS clinic to be able to get the funding, even though like everything else we're eligible for. So yeah, and we're not going to do IVF without NHS funding, because it's just a ridiculous amount of money. And although like both of our parents have been very, very generous in terms of like helping to pay for our treatment, like our treatment at the moment is like £1,000 a go with like all of the drugs and everything on it. And like considering how long my body seems to be taking to react, we have to keep buying more drugs, which is like £87 a time. So, and then IVF they've already said like would be something like £6,000 just for one cycle. So yeah, we will have to see, but they said like one of the reasons they would recommend that instead of like doing like much more ovulation induction is because where I do have PCOS, the quality of my eggs is going to be less than a normal person, which is always nice to hear as well. So they said although like I'm obviously producing eggs and I'm releasing them, that's great, the quality may not be good, and that could be why it's not working for us so far. So but yes, so we will obviously do the deed. It's Adam's turn now, he's stepping up to the plate, and we'll go from there. So fingers crossed, wish us luck. I'll keep you obviously updated, but yeah, it's definitely been something that's been on my mind a lot this cycle. It's been a really hard cycle mentally, and I have really struggled along the way, and Adam's kind of really struggled to look after me. I think he doesn't really know what to do or say a lot of the time, which I completely get. I fully understand it can't be easy, and I'm trying to not be a bit of a wreck for him. And yeah, I definitely learned through this whole process I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I was like, yeah, it'll be fine, like I'll be good, we'll get through it, like if there's disappointment, there's going to be disappointment, it's obviously not going to work the first couple of times, that's fine, we'll just keep going. And it's not quite as easy as that when you start getting into it. So yeah, we're just gonna like see. And I swear there's just baby stuff everywhere. Me and Adam said like we've noticed it so much more since we started treatment. Like it's just everywhere. Like if we're reading a book, there's something in there, like a TV show, it'll just be like, are you kidding me? We were watching something the other day, I think it was Die Hard actually, but just before Christmas, and I was like, I was in a really bad, it was the day I came on my period, So they learned like a second cycle hadn't worked, I was really down, so we were like, oh, let's put on something that's obviously going to be like actiony, like don't have to think, just have to like watch and everything. And then there's the policeman in it who's getting food because his wife's pregnant at home, and it's their first, and it's like, oh, for God's sake. Like Adam looked at me and he was like, I was like, how has this happened? So it is just everywhere, and it is really hard. This whole cycle's been really, really hard, and I think it's also made people around me that know what's happening much more aware of how hard it is, I think. So that's good in a way, I guess. Like, yeah, we will see. And then I'm just trying to not put pressure on this one, because it's like, we've got the, like, this is only our third cycle. We'll just see how it goes. If this doesn't work, we will do a fourth one. Obviously we'll speak to our fertility specialist and just kind of say, look, we do want to do a fourth one before we do IVF, just give it like one more go, see if it works, and then we'll go from there. So this isn't like our last chance, you know, this isn't like the last step. It's like, no, this is just another step along the way, and we'll just do what we can and we'll see. So hopefully this is successful. If it's not, then we'll do another cycle. It's fine. It's, like I said, it's not the end of the world. We'll do another one and we'll go from there. Okay, so it is Tuesday the 8th. So it's like 4 days since I did the trigger. In terms of like waiting, I'm fine at the moment. I will say, by the way, excuse my crazy eyes, like filmed a video, went a bit weird. But I will say, what was I saying? I don't think I'm feeling as many like things as the last 2 cycles. Like my boobs are fine, whereas the last 2, my boobs are really sore, they really hurt. And I don't know, because I had like 2 follicles again. I had one on the right hand side, one on the left hand side. The one on the right was bigger, and got to like the 17mm first, but I took the trigger, and like usually when I ovulate I get like a bit of a pain or a cramp, and I get a certain consistency of cervical mucus, which sounds disgusting, and it is disgusting. Adam says it's like the unsexiest thing in the world. I'm speaking to my best friend about it, we just call it CM now. There's like a certain consistency that I would get when I ovulated the past 2, but that consistency happens a few times when I'm not, so I don't know. But I'm not feeling the same symptoms so far, so I don't know if it's just that maybe I didn't ovulate straight away, or that still hasn't happened yet and I'm still waiting for that to happen. I honestly don't know. I should have ovulated by now, because you do in 24 hours after you've taken the trigger. But yeah, I'm not feeling any of the same symptoms. I'm very, very chilled and very relaxed right now, which is good. I'm just trying to focus on so many other things. I am starting netball tonight, which I'm scared about but also excited about. Also, I have it in my head, I don't know why, but I am convinced that my other best friend Beth is pregnant. I don't know why. I think it's when we had our Christmas meal back in December, she didn't drink. She chose to drive, even though Amber wasn't drinking and she could have driven. And then apparently she didn't drink at Christmas either, and she hasn't been feeling well. So I don't know. And I was seeing her Friday for her birthday, and part of me is convinced she's going to tell me she's pregnant, but she also knows like what my situation is. So I'm also like, is she going to be, she's probably going to be a bit scared to tell me, which I would be as well, to be fair. But I've just got it in my head that I'm convinced that she's pregnant, and she probably isn't at all. I think like Amber said, she's like, I don't think she is. I think you're going mad. I don't think she is. And in my head I'm like, I think she is. And yeah, I'm just trying to keep busy and do things, but I do have to take the test on Amber's birthday, which is the 18th. So 10 days today. It feels very weird that I'm going to be doing that on her birthday, but we will see. I am not expecting it to work because it hasn't worked so far. Some people would be like, oh, it hasn't worked so far, so the more times I do it, the more likely it is going to be to work. And I'm just like, it hasn't worked so far, so it's not going to work. I am that person. So yes, we will see. But I'm a lot more chilled waiting this time. I was quite chilled like the second cycle as well, if I remember correctly. But I'm also quite chilled this cycle in terms of waiting. The treatment of cycle 3 and not chilled at all was like the hardest cycle. It was so emotional. I was getting slightly worried about myself, but I feel a lot more like me, and I don't know if it's because I'm not having those injections every day, so maybe, but yeah, I feel a lot more like me now, which is good. So yeah, we will just see. I'll keep you updated if Beth is in fact pregnant. She's probably not. I think I'm just driving myself mad. And yeah, anyway, it is Thursday the 17th, so tomorrow is test D day, and I don't think I'm pregnant. It's weird because I haven't really had any of the same feelings or symptoms as I've had for the other 2 cycles, but I also feel like I shouldn't be looking for patterns because this is only like the 3rd cycle, so I might not be like feeling the same for each one. I don't know. And now I haven't got dressed or makeup or anything yet. I'm still in my fluffy thing. So yeah, it's a bit weird because I haven't really had any of that. So part of me was like, what does this mean? But like today I've just been feeling like I am due on, like if you're a girl, you know, like if you know, you know. And like my stomach's not feeling like quite right, it's feeling kind of tight and a little bit like, and it's like, oh, I know what's about to happen. So I do still have like a test. Obviously if I haven't come on tomorrow then I will take it, but I'm not expecting it to be positive. So I'm just setting my expectations there. Adam doesn't know when I'm doing the test. I haven't told him because I still want to have that moment of telling him, and like people have asked us a few times over the past week like, oh, when do you find out? And it's like, I'm not telling anybody, because if we tell people when we find out, then it's on the day they're going to be like, well, are they not? And if they haven't heard anything, then they're going to be like, oh my god, they are, and it's kind of ruins it. So there is that, but also I think the last time I spoke to you was Monday when I was going to message the clinic about my referral and that procedure. Basically turns out my doctor doesn't have a clue on how to refer people through NHS. So the clinic that I'm currently going to, Wessex Fertility, they are a private clinic, but they can be used as an NHS clinic when referred through the NHS. So what my doctor has done is she literally just sent the referral directly to Wessex Fertility. So they took that as a private referral. What she was supposed to do is send it to an NHS gynecological centre that's in like 2 hospitals near us. I think it's QA and Southampton General. They would then look at it, you'd be evaluated by them, I think, and then you would be referred and have a choice of what clinic you want to go to. So, which she hasn't done, which is really frustrating because it basically means that we're going to be at the bottom of the list. And part of me was like, if it is just the case of Wessex have like messed up and they've kind of taken it as private when it should be in NHS, then actually maybe it would have been quicker. But we are now literally going to be at like the bottom of the pile, which is really frustrating. So that's annoying. And also with like the tubal procedure thingy that they would do with the dye, basically when I kind of asked about why that hadn't been done, they literally said that usually they only do that initially if there's any reason to believe that there's been trauma or there is any damage, or when they do like the internal scans, usually they can see something to indicate that there might be something wrong, and they haven't seen that, which is why they didn't do that with me. And they were like, and because you have POS, that's the most likely cause. And part of me is like, yes, it's the most likely cause, but still surely you'd want to test that before you put me on a treatment that means I have to ovulate down tubes anyway. Like, I do feel a little like they've just latched onto PCOS and gone, this is what's wrong with you, we're not looking at anything else, because they haven't tested for anything else. So yeah, but he has said for IVF we wouldn't need to anyway because it's not a requirement for IVF, but he said if we do decide to do another round of ovulation induction, then it might be time to do that, to see why it hasn't worked so far. And to be honest, like I think I said on the other one, if that is the case and it hasn't, there is something wrong, and that's why something hasn't worked so far, we've both said we're going to be really annoyed, because that's 3 cycles we have wasted that we've paid for. Well, we've paid for one, my parents paid for the other 2. So yeah, that's 3 cycles completely wasted, money wasted, because it was never going to work if there was an issue. So yes, we will see. But obviously if I am pregnant tomorrow, it's a moot point. If I'm not, then I'm just going to go back in on Monday probably, and have like a conversation about what we want to do next. And usually Adam doesn't necessarily come in for those first ones, but I'm going to try and get him to come in, because I feel like if it's a conversation about what we're doing next, he needs to be involved in that conversation. It shouldn't just be me. So yeah, I'm gonna have that conversation with him. I'm taking the test like first thing tomorrow anyway, so I can at least say to him like, book out, don't get a 9 o'clock appointment on Monday because I need you there, because I don't want to make a decision on something when he's not there, because it's both of us. So yeah, but I just wanted to like update you, let you know how I was. Like, I feel absolutely fine. My boobs are actually fine. Like occasionally I'll be like, oh, they feel a little bit sore, but nothing like, I love that I'm just groping myself on camera, nothing like they did for the other 2 cycles. Like, I don't feel overly emotional. I'm fine, so we'll just find out tomorrow and see, but I do think I'm due one, so there is that. We'll just kind of go with what happens and go from there. So good morning, it is Friday the 18th, it is D-Day, test is done, as expected. Not a positive result. I've got red hair. Literally, when I did the test, I like climbed back into bed, our boiler's broken so it's freezing. I need to get dressed ready because boiler man's coming at some point this morning, I don't know when. I like just sat back in bed and then he came right up, so going meow, 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 just jumped straight up here for a cuddle like he knew I needed it. I'm okay, I think, because like I was expecting it over, like, because it was happening over Christmas and it took so long to get there. It was one of those things where we both said it's over Christmas and neither of us are eating as healthily as we should be. We're not doing everything we probably should be doing to like maximise our chances here. So yeah, it was kind of expected. Still obviously disappointing, but we're just going to go back in next week and just kind of have a chat about what happens next. This was only our 3rd cycle and they say up to 6 times. One of our like gynecologists has said he thinks we should move on to IVF next, but to be honest, because we don't have that funding and that's, our referral hasn't even gone through as far as we know yet because our doctor doesn't actually know how to do it, we can't afford to fund that ourselves, so that's insane. And we've kind of said we think we'd want to do 1 more cycle because we knew this one was going to be a little bit of a bust anyway. In a way, we kind of thought it had the potential to be. Obviously we don't fully understand it all. It could be that whatever we're doing makes no difference whatsoever, but it's nice to think that it can. So I think we do want to go for another cycle, but they have said if we do go for another cycle then it might be worth doing the test on my tubes. So we're just going to go back in early next week, find out what like the plan is next, what our options are, and go from there really. Good news is we can now go on holiday with my family in July, so that's silver lining. We can actually book those flights and get that sorted and start getting excited about that, which is nice. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. Obviously, I mean, you would have seen me when I found out cycle 2, I was a bit of a mess. I'm okay this time, I think literally because cycle 2 was end of the year, or it was a bit of a thing for me where I was like, well, it's at the end of another year, another Christmas where, you know, we're not expecting another new year where we don't know what's happening, and that never kind of, when we first started trying, it never kind of went into my head that actually this could take a couple of years. So yeah, it's definitely and that was quite a big blow last time, so I think Adam was quite worried about me this time, but I'm okay. I think, as I said, because I don't know, in my head I'm very much kind of like, I was thinking about this yesterday, part of me is like, I just don't see this happening at all for us now. Like, I feel like if it was going to happen it would have happened, but at the same time I'm like, there's still so many like options left, there's still so much they can do, so it can still happen, and they've always been very positive that they can make it happen for us. So yeah, I'm kind of on a bit of a seesaw at the moment where I'm like, part of me is literally like, I just don't ever see this happening. Like, I can't remember a time now where we weren't trying and we weren't getting really disappointed. Like, the idea that we actually get a positive result one day is kind of like a very foreign concept to me right now, which feels very strange that that is even a possibility. So yeah, it's weird. We'll just kind of see what happens next. Just go and have a chat. Like, we don't know anything to have a chat with them. As I said, if we do that tubular test and find that I do have an issue, I think we're both gonna have some words to say about that, because that will then be 3 cycles, 3 like cycles we've paid for that have been a complete waste. So part of me is hoping there isn't an issue, because that will be really annoying. Part of me is like, oh, if there is an issue then we could just move on to IVF, but we can't afford IVF. So it's, yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going through my head right now. Thankfully I've got a super busy day at work. I do really need to get up and dressed and go make myself a coffee and log in. So it helps that I'm busy at work, but also this is like the first day that I found out that I'm at home by myself. Like, the first day I was up in London in the office, so it was so busy all day I didn't really have a chance to think about it, and also because it was the first cycle, we never expected the first cycle to work. The second one, like, obviously I was very, very down, but I was with Adam all day. We went to we went and found our Christmas tree, then he was there, whereas I'm on my own today. So I mean, I'm sure I'll be fine. I feel fine, and I think I'm going to start looking at like flights for holidays, or just to kind of keep me excited about something. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from here, see where we end up, and obviously I'll keep you updated. But yeah, I feel okay. I feel fine. I mean, when I spoke to you yesterday, I said I could kind of feel like I was due on. I'm not actually on yet. I do still feel like I am any moment. Like, I've got that feeling in my stomach, and like I've got a bit of a backache, and yeah, it's kind of like that feeling. But yeah, we'll just go with that. We'll see what happens. Hopefully our boiler will get fixed today so it can be warm, because it's so cold. And yeah, we'll go from there. So it's looking more and more likely that we might have because if it happens in the next cycle, it'll be due in November, which is both of our birthdays, and we always said that we wouldn't want one or like in that month. It's gonna happen if it happens in the next cycle. And then obviously the one after that, if we do another one, then it would be December, and we've always said November and December would be 2 months we wouldn't want one. But it's looking more and more likely that that's gonna happen, which is just so like, do not care anymore. It's fine, like, it is what it is. So we'll just go with it. I'm laughing, so I'm obviously in like a better mood than I was last time I got a negative. So yeah, we'll go with it. We'll see what happens. And yeah, let's go into cycle 4, I guess, now. Yeah, and this one is obviously very chilled and relaxed about the whole thing.